Hello, and welcome to Mind Your Head, a space for people to share their stories, talk openly and honestly about their own mental health challenges, and to give some listeners some comfort in knowing you're not alone. Before we get into today's episode, I want to quickly share something that I've been loving lately. Cooking's always been a big outlet for me. It helps me slow down, switch off, and put my energy to something creative. After a long day, it's honestly one of the best ways I've found to release stress and just reset. That's why I genuinely love HelloFresh. It makes cooking easy, takes the stress out of figuring out what to make, and the meals are actually unreal. So if you're looking for a simple way to eat better, enjoy cooking a bit more, check out HelloFresh. Use the code MindYourHead at checkout for up to $240 off your first 6 boxes. I've always asked my guests, what are your 3 non-negotiables for living a healthy and full life? For me, it's movement, community, and good nutrition. I've learned that what you fill your body with plays a massive role in how you feel physically and mentally. That's why I use True Protein. They're an Aussie brand doing things the right way. Clean, natural supplements with no artificial additives or fillers. Everything's made in-house in Sydney's northern beaches using the highest quality ingredients sourced from around the world. Whether it's supporting energy, improving focus, or reducing fatigue, their products genuinely help me show up better every single day. And just like Mind Your Head, they live by values I stand by. Be true, be you, and take care of your whole self. Zach, welcome to Mind Your Head, mate. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on today. I've sort of really fallen in love with the content that you're sharing. A lot of it we talked about sort of in the sauna today, that it really resonates with me, and you can sort of tell when someone has gone through their own demons, their own battles, and not necessarily come out the other side. I think there's always work to be done, what we talked about before, but you can always tell when someone's gone through some shit and done some inner work. So I'm really looking forward to this chat and seeing where it takes us.
Yeah, likewise. It's been a wild journey, and I feel like that you can only go as far with people and in conversations as you've gone with yourself. So to be sitting here at this season of life is pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome. I like to do this thing with my mates and my family, and it's like a sort of a mental check-in. So I just want to ask you, how's the mind, body, and spirit going? All 3.
I could sit here and say good, and and I could sit here and say everything's going well, but I'm in a bit of in a season of my life where I'm going through things, and like that's also okay. We were talking about this earlier, and I'm healing lots of old identities and sorting my way through life. Also while running and building a business and trying to show up as the best version of myself. So for me how is the mind, body, and soul? A little bit confused at the moment.
Is it?
And I guess I've fallen in love with that, to try and not fix that, but sit with those emotions and sit with those thoughts, is something that I've never done before, and I'm enjoying the journey.
Yeah. It's a bit of the unknown, isn't it? And it's like instead of trying to, run away from it, it's lean into a little bit more.
Correct. And I feel like that, you ask most people in the street, how are they? The answer's always good.
Good.
And that just tells me that they're not good.
Yeah, it is obvious, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. But, having the ability to own what not good is for you and to be at peace with that and to understand that it is a journey and it is just a moment in time, and you can still be successful, you can still be a really nice bloke, you can still help others, but you can also feel emotions too and be a human.
Yeah.
Which is that journey that I'm currently embarking on at the moment, which is special.
We'll definitely go into it. You mentioned that you're sort of running a business and stuff, and are you a morning routine person? Do you like to get a lot of things sort of tick a lot of boxes before you start work in the mornings, or?
Yeah, I sort of call it in different periods of my life.
Yeah.
When you're going through things and you're hurting and whatever that looks like, coming out of a breakup, going through a hard time in business, I feel like that lead domino in the morning of getting yourself right sets you up for the day. Whether that's a hard workout, whatever that looks like for you, everyone is so personal. For me, I am the best version of myself when I'm up early, in the gym, having the sauna. My morning routines have changed so much over the years.
In what way?
Oh, well, before it was like I need to run 10Ks before I can do anything.
Oh, right.
Yeah, not I want to. It's like I have to.
Yeah, a bit of OCD
for
almost.
Me, not that. It's just like I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed to tick that box for me to feel enough. Or I need to do this, or I need to do a hard workout because pain was all I knew. You know, I needed to do something hard for me to feel like I've done something. You know, mornings now for me look a little bit softer. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. I wake up in the morning.
Watch the sunrise or something.
You know, I wake up in the morning. I've actually just started doing puzzles. You know, I wake up I'm up early.
I
I'm
love
up at
that.
like 4:30 in the morning, and you know, I got a puzzle out on my table, and you know, I just connect the dots first thing, put my brain into thinking mode, and I'm up at, you know, 4:35 in the morning giggling that I've just got a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And then I go into I either run or do some weights in my gym at home, and then straight into meditation. I do not leave my my house.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say I do not leave. Some days I do leave without doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I meditate and meet the parts of myself that don't really get spoken about.
Do you ever sit back and reflect sometimes during the day or during the weeks and think the person you are now and reflect it like the person that you used to be?
Oh man, I guess yeah. There is some parts of versions that never leave.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I don't feel like there's I'm really good at shedding you know, parts of me that don't belong anymore and
don't serve you.
Yeah. But man, it's only just recent. You know, it's only just recent, and it's been such a wild journey to get to where I am after everything I've been through. It gives me confidence and clarity that I can get through most things in life.
Yeah, because I kind of want to start at the beginning there, because I think our childhood really sets a foundation for who we become as adults. And you mentioned that you sort of grew up around a lot of violence, a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. I think you mentioned in the sauna there's a lot of dysfunction in your house growing up. What did normal look like in your house?
Oh, man.
What was normal for you?
Normal for me was a lot of anger, a lot of hate, a lot of... I grew up with... I was raised by two human beings that didn't even know who they were, you know, and that had children to try and fix problems that didn't fix the problems that needed to be fixed. And, that I'm just a byproduct of that, you know. I grew up around, you know, violence, drugs, alcohol, drama, anything and everything. Yeah, you name it, I've seen it. I've lived it. Not one bit of safety or not one bit of having the ability to feel safe and communicate how I was feeling. You know, no trust, don't trust anyone.
Was there a relationship with your mum and dad in terms?
There was early on, you know, when I was a little boy, when they were still together. I still got vague memories of at the start, you know. I got a sister, and we had somewhat of a family, you know. I would think to that, you know, and they were going through some things, and they split up at a young age. I think they were. Well, I was maybe like, how old are you when you're in year 3? However old that is, you know. My old man took off with another lady, and that was sort of it, you know. Ever since then, like since year 3, however old that is, man, I've sort of just been going, what's going on? And you know, with breakups and kids involved, comes anger. With two people that don't know how to control their emotions, come alcohol, drugs, and it just sort of got worse as that went on, you know.
In what way?
Well, I was raised by my old man. It was such a I don't know what you call it, man. I wouldn't call it a man at all, but just told from a young age that my mum wasn't a good person. You know, told from a young age that boys hang with boys, girls hang with girls.
Well, that old school,
generational,
that old school
you know. But his dad was a Wolfie, you know, born and bred in Waterloo. You know, probably the only man that I fear this today would be him, you know. And he just did what he knew. I've unpacked that with my nan and my grandma, and which has been beautiful, you know. But going further along the journey, Dad sort of took off with another girl and sort of broke mum, and she was feeling, you know, she'd lost a father to her kids, to another woman, and I just wanted to be my old man. I just wanted to be my dad. You know, my dad was my superhero, so that's what I did. You know, year 4, I couldn't be with my mum because she was on the drink, and I always knew that I was in the wrong spot. You know, I always knew, being very, very self-aware from a very young age that I was not in the right spot. You know, I'd be hanging out in, like, I was in year 4, I was hanging out and running the streets and doing what I was doing, you know, hanging in houses that I should have been hanging out in and getting in fights and doing all that stuff, like, at such a young age. But my mum just allowed it because she didn't have the capacity to be a parent. You know, she was figuring out, it's her first time being a mum too. And,
she was going through it on her own.
She was going through it on her own, you know, and she had no help, and she had 2 kids that were out of control.
Was your sister like that too?
She's 10 times worse than me.
Was she really?
Yeah. And yeah, I was in year 4, and my old man picked me up from school, and I didn't see my mum for a couple of years. Really? That's how bad it was.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and that's how bad from a young age that I tapped in that my mum wasn't a good person, because from such a young age that it was boys with boys, girls with girls. And you know, my mum probably wasn't the best partner at that time. But also my dad probably wasn't either. You know, they were just both hurting, man. They were hurting, running. And yeah, year 4, I was still remembered as clear as day. The dad took me from school. We started another school, and I thought, fuck, how good's this, you know? Back with my old man. Saying that, was still very functional. I was playing footy at the time, and you know, they'd come to the footy together, and it wasn't like bad, but it was pretty bad when you unpack it, which I've done. And yeah, I moved in with Dad with his new partner. Everything was good. My dad was very strong in regards to, you know, rules and discipline, and I feel like that's where I got the fundamentals of being what I thought a man was. You know, look a man in the eyes and shake his hand, and you know, don't shy away from anything hard, and stand up for yourself, and
good work ethic, all that sort
good
of
work.
stuff.
No, I wouldn't say good work ethic. He didn't work a day in his life, but just. Yeah, like, not to trust anyone, you know, from a young age. The first lesson I ever learned in life was from my grandfather. And he told me a story about a kid that was on a roof, and his dad was catching him jumping off the roof. And he caught him the first time, caught him the second time, and the third time that he jumped, he moved. And he looked at his son and said, "Never trust anyone." They're the first memories of my life, you know. And
that stays with you.
Man, it's with me now.
Still?
Yeah. And I've looked at people as enemies for the last 28 years, you know.
Far out.
And that's just all I knew.
Yeah.
You know, if I can't trust anyone, who can I trust?
If I can't trust Dad.
If I can't trust my mum. If I can't trust my sister. If I can't trust my dad. You know, that's when secrets start coming in. That's when, you know, you start doing things that you shouldn't be doing. And you know, anyway, so yeah, he was going through I was living with him at the time, which is great. You know, I had to be home before the street lights. There was fucking rules there, and I had to follow them. I feared him. I respected him. He got my respect. And I feel like that's so important these days in parenting. I feel like there's too many kids out there that don't respect their parents. And it shows up later on in life when it comes time to get into the real world. If you do not respect your elders, or you do not respect people that, you know, that you should, it comes across as very, I don't think you'll get far in life without respecting people.
Did you feel different growing up and sort of going to school? Did you spend much time at school?
No.
You didn't?
I hated school, yeah.
Yeah, I hated school too.
Yeah, it wasn't for
I was
me.
just curious, did you feel different? You know, you'd talk to kids or talk to friends and see how their sort of family dynamics were. Did you feel different?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't allowed to, like, you know, I had things inside my house that no one was allowed to see, you know. I wasn't allowed for kids, like, wasn't allowed people over, like.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But I thought that was normal. In terms of,
like, drugs and alcohol, that sort of thing?
Yeah, drugs,
right.
yeah. I thought that was normal, you know. Yeah, no kids over, no friends over.
Wow. Did you feel like you lost a bit of your childhood?
No, I was on the streets. I didn't care. I was playing footy. Yeah, I was a kid, man. I was good, funny. You know, I never thought that. I was a good
Having fun.
happy soul. You know,
Yeah,
I was
right.
always having fun.
Yeah.
I was an angry kid.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
were.
at that point of time. Not angry. I just didn't. You know, I'd always stick up for myself. You know, I'd you know, and yeah, that sort of come to an end. I was living with my old man at the time and his partner, and I hadn't spoken to my mum in about 2 years, and we had an argument because I had to be home before the streetlights come on, and I wasn't, and I walked inside and got my ass whooped, and I was like, I can't take this anymore, and I rang my old lady for the first time in 2 years. And I said, can you please come and get me? And she was there within 2 hours. And that was the last time I see my old man. So that was the last words from my dad was kick me out the arse and said, get out of the house.
Still to this day?
Still to this
As your
day.
dad passed?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to hear.
Yeah. And, you know, 2 weeks went on. This was the break between Christmas holidays and when you go through the transition from year 6 to year 7, that break in between, that was the Christmas holidays. And my mum was living at Bondi at the time and we're down Brony Beach, and Mum got a phone call from the New South Wales Police, and they were like, do you know Mitchell Hansen? Mum was like, yeah, what's he done? Got done drink driving or whatever, doing what he does. And yeah, they'd said that he passed away. And that was, yeah, I said before, like, that's where we had to become a man pretty quickly. And I didn't even know what being a man was. You know, that's when I started to survive.
Did it feel like survival?
Oh, yeah. From, you know, my mum was like, everyone was just in survival mode. They couldn't believe what was going on. And with that come spite, hate, you name it, anything come after that, you know, when he wasn't there, because she hated him so much.
Yeah.
I dealt with that. I got that.
You
know,
got the
because I
hate?
loved him. So yeah, like your dad's a fucking drug addict, this, that. And I just wanted to be with him, you know, and I had to move back in with my old lady, and there was chaos there.
Why did you feel safer around your dad?
Because there was rules.
Yeah, you
know,
like
I had
that
to go to bed
structure.
on time.
Yeah.
I had to, you know, say please and thank you. I had to, you know, there was rules. Like the house was half decent. You know, there was food in the cupboard. And I valued that. I always liked nice things. I always liked being in nicer environments, and that's just always been me, you know. And when I was at my mum's house, there was kids running around and ferals and you know, a lot of like toxic drugs, alcohol, people that I just still to this day like don't value, which is not so good. But yeah, where was I going with that?
Yeah, it's just interesting how you've been able to sort of deal with that loss and then sort of go back. Went back living with your mum and dad?
Yeah,
with your mum?
So I went back and lived with my mum, and it got worse, you know. She met not long after Dad passed away. Funny story, actually. My stepmom that my dad was with ended up marrying his best mate, and now she's dead. So I was living with two people that aren't on this world, aren't on this earth anymore, which is still today blows my mind. So anyway, she ended up marrying my dad's best mate. My mum ended up marrying a guy that knew my old man and having a kid to him. Oh, right. And he was an absolute monster.
Really?
Still to this day, one of the worst human beings that I've ever come across in life.
In what way?
Just, man, like...
Abusive.
Yeah. Just broken. Now I understand
broken kid.
What a real man is. He was just a broken coward that, you know, seen my mum as a broken soul and you know, hurt people. You know, I remember still like my mum ended up having a kid. She was 40 at the time when she had my little sister Amy, but kicked out on the street when she was, you know, my sister. I got memories of us packing our stuff up and like daily, you know, get the fuck out of the house. So we'd all package up and we'd just go sit in the car. We had nowhere to go. He had control over us because he had a house. He had the roof that we needed. And the strength and courage that I seen in my mum to hold on to that, to sit through that for so many years, to get abused, to get bashed, to get, you know, everything, you name it, I've seen.
What does that do to a kid?
Oh, man.
Like the nervous system, you know, always on edge, just not feeling safe.
You're just in survival mode,
you
man.
Are.
Yeah, 24/7. You don't know what's going to happen next. You're like a scared dog, you know, but you try and be tough because several times. I got locked up for trying to like save my mum.
Really, from him?
Well, the abuse and everything, man. My sister was 6 months old and she was across the park with nowhere to sleep. Just a controlling, broken human. Sad. But that was the blueprint that was
your normal.
That was my normal. That was normal for me. That was normal for me, and I still had the ability to show up the way I showed up.
Did it? Yeah, it's incredible to see that, and then see that you're the man that you are today. But did it skewer your version of what love is?
Oh man,
and your understanding of love?
Yeah, for sure. I don't even know. I still to this day, I've never.
You struggle with love.
Oh yeah. And that's the journey that I'm on now. I know love I know love is the most powerful emotion there is. And I'm trying to. I want to feel it. I know. I want to hurt. I want to cry. I want to sit there and go. You know what? That fucking hurt. And I want to sit there and I want to cry more.
Did you cry as a kid?
No,
that was all bottled up.
Oh, like you can't cry in those situations. You have to like move. You have to adapt. There's no time for tears. It's like, where are we going next? What's happening next? How do we get out of this situation?
On to the next thing.
Yeah.
When were you able to sit down and actually feel what happened in your childhood and process everything and actually?
Now.
Really?
Yeah, now. That's the journey that I'm on.
Wow.
That's the journey that I'm feeling now. Yeah. And this all just comes out. I did a lot of work on myself. Coming from that walk of life, getting out of that environment. My mum moved away with this man up to foster, and I stayed in Sydney. I've always been very conscious and very curious, and always thinking like, how can I be better? How can I not be like that?
Even from a young age.
I grew up around people that I wanted to be nothing alike, and I knew that from a young age. And I have always stuck around people that I know I can get something out of, that can teach me and to open the right door and to understand, that's not the right place to hang. Where that comes from, I don't know. Where that comes from, I do not know. I knew there was nothing for me in foster, even though that my whole family lived up there. And I was, living, I was like, I'm not going up there. I'm going to flatmates.com. I'll stay down here by myself. I was 16.
So you've always wanted something better?
I always, that's the only way out. When you come from nothing,
well, you got
nothing to lose.
Well, you got two ways, don't you?
You got nothing to lose. I was like, I'm not going down. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
And then, when you come from nothing, it makes you realize that one, that nothing is important, besides the things that actually matter in life is, how to make people feel. But like, I went on the journey to get into business and started. So I needed to succeed. I needed to be something. I needed to get out of what I was going through. And that only way I was doing that was to work. It was the only way. I worked and I did whatever I had to do. What
were your jobs, sort of?
I've been in the industry from the start,
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've been in the roofing industry since I was. Funny story. We can even go down that road. How I found that. I was suspended from school at the time. I was in and out of school. At school, my best mates in school I was in year 7 and my mates were in year 11. Yeah.
So
and I was just this little cheeky, like the cheekiest little kid you've ever met.
So your home life impacted your want for school, or were you naturally just not interested in school, you think?
I was naturally not interested in school because I knew I couldn't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
I couldn't read and write and spell. What am I doing at school? I went to school. I didn't have a book. I didn't have a bag.
Yeah.
I didn't take anything to school.
Yeah, you just
didn't even wear a school uniform. Can't teacher's going to tell me to wear a school uniform. For what?
Yeah.
What am I going to get out of that? I didn't follow any rules. Like after Dad died, I was like me against the world. No one can tell me anything. And that was down to like bring a bag to school. Go get fucked. I've got nothing to write on these pieces of paper. And I found myself hanging around older boys, still very good mates with a couple of them these days. It completely changed my life, saved my life, At that stage, I was 16 and one of my other mates, Kieran, I was sleeping on his lounge and we went to school together and I'd always just hang out with, I'd always just be with them, that was safe to me. You know, someone that I resonated with. I couldn't resonate with kids my age. I was already way past their, you know, their walk of life. I've seen way too much to be hanging around kids my age.
You grew up quite quickly, didn't you?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always, you know, hung a little bit closer to people, a little bit more wisdom than me, and know a little bit more than me at whatever period of that life that is. And yeah, I was suspended from school at the time, and I was up actually visiting my old man's grave, and the guy that's buried behind my old man said, "Why aren't you at school?" And I said, "Oh, I hated school." He goes, "Do you want a job?" I said, "Yeah, I'd love one." And he goes, "All right, no worries. I'll meet you on the highway at 5 o'clock in the morning." And the rest is history. I've been in the same industry, doing the same thing ever since.
Yeah. So you obviously love it.
It's all I know.
Yeah.
It's all I know. It's all I know, man. I've done it. And I'm wrestling with that at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm wrestling with that at the moment. Not that, but fast track 7 years, you know, I've got 20 employees and run a $5 million business. I got there out of fucking pain. I got that out of saying, watch me. That little boy, that little broken boy built this business.
Imagine what you can do with a healed man.
And that's what I'm doing now. I'm turning all that pain into purpose and helping my people and creating such a beautiful, leaving my mark on this world and in the trade industries is something that I'll do, and I'll make sure I'll do that before I leave this planet.
Who had the biggest impact on you growing up, you think?
I think just environments.
Your environments.
Just my environments, yeah. And my ability to be aware of what's right and what's wrong. Where that comes from, I don't know. I really don't have any answers for that. You know, I got a good mate, Kieran, that I've latched onto since those days where I was in year 7 and he was in year 11. I was throwing oranges at the canteen and trying to get laughs and wagging school and doing whatever I wanted to do, getting in fights across the road, like you name it. Like yeah, he probably showed me the definition of hard work, because when I was sleeping on his lounge, the look that he gave me, he's till this day, his old man committed suicide, and you know he's had it worked out from the start. You know, we're living in his house at 19, and he's always been a very hard worker. And the look in his eyes when he was off to work and when I was at home was enough for me.
Really?
Yeah, that was enough.
What was the look?
That I was letting him down.
Yeah.
And that I was wasting. He seen the potential in me before I seen it in myself. You know, he knew that I wasn't like everyone else. He knew that, because he'd been through it too. Yeah. You know, he lost his old man, and he knows that the only way out is through. So
he saw the drive in you.
Yeah. We latched on. You know, he seen. I was a kid. Like I did anything. We did everything together. You know, it's going from like fuck. We're gonna go and fuck get in this fight. Like back in I grew up around like we're fighting every weekend.
Really?
Every weekend.
Yeah.
We'd get calls, sweat, like, you know, X, Y, and Z down at the pub, bang, like throw hands.
We're on.
Yeah. And I was like 16, 17, rocking up to house parties, you know, with bats, knives at 16. These guys are like 19 at the time. That's just what I grew up around, you know? Sneaking into pubs and sneaking into clubs and jumping fences and like just knuckling, which is so fucking bad. But it's sort of made me who I am today.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And is there a memory from your childhood, whether it's a good or bad, that still comes into your mind even today?
Honestly, I don't think there's any like there's not many good ones. There's not many good ones. You know, memory from my childhood would probably be my nan. You know, I've had a beautiful relationship with my nan since I was a little boy, and she's probably the only place that I feel safe. Because through it all, you know, she's been there for me through everything. You know, she was the one making me sandwiches when I was up at the skate park. She was the one where I had nowhere to go. She'd look after me. So yeah, having that relationship with my nan is probably the best childhood memories of my life for sure. Which is so beautiful, you know, to have her.
You mentioned a little bit before. I think you mentioned in the sauna about, you know, the shame that comes with sort of that sort of upbringing, and were you embarrassed by it? Were you know, was there
going through what I went through creates a character that isn't nice.
Yeah.
You know, you seek validation from any way possible. You become an angry person that just does not give any fucks besides himself.
Yeah.
My ability to hurt, my ability to cause pain through verbally, you know, and be so like okay with it. I could rip your heart out and look at you like I've done nothing wrong.
Because it happened
and
to
lie
you.
to myself.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know, my ability to do that. That's what hurts now. You know, the ability. I've hurt a lot of people. You know, I've hurt a lot of people, and now I feel the pain. But I'm okay with that. You know, my ability to heal that shame that blinds us going through life is one of the most beautiful things that you'll ever go through, because it's my story, and you know, I own that.
Was that hard for you to own that? Like to look back and go, you know what? Yeah, I've got to accept and own every part of that as it's because it's part of me.
Correct.
You
Everything
know, I
good
can't
in life.
deny it. I can't, you know, pretend like it didn't happen. I've almost got to accept every bad, good, painful, emotional part of that and go, that's part of me. Like that's made me the person I am. I can't deny it. I can't pretend like it didn't exist. Is that hard to accept?
It was very hard.
Yeah.
But once I learned the power of self-accountability, it's, you know, you can heal anything with self-accountability. To hold yourself accountable in any situation throughout life, you can get through anything. If you go, you know what, I could have been better there. But the ego doesn't let that.
I was gonna ask you that.
The ego doesn't let that.
That's the battle with the ego, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then you grow. Think about it. I was a broken little boy. I built a business. I bought everything: house, watch, car. Did everything. Traveled, holidays, everything. My values in life were everything was external. Everything, because I didn't know how to feel.
Did it fix anything?
Everything was like to what I wore. Every single value in my life was all external. I valued image. I valued how I looked. I valued what I did. I valued how much money I had, or how I valued what my business did. And that's not good. But that's all I knew. That's all, because I taught that myself. If I can't get validation for anywhere else, I got to get it from myself. And how do I do that? I build a business. I wear nice clothes. I have a nice car. I have a nice watch. And when you do all those things, you think that there's going to be 50 people walking down your street clapping their hands, but it's the most silent, lonely moments of your life, you know? And I'm so grateful that I've been able to become somewhat successful to realize that money doesn't mean anything.
Money's not success to you.
It's not, no.
But you've had to go through it to realize it.
Oh man, that's and shedding that it's been very, very difficult. Yeah.
If you could sit with the younger self now and say something to him, what would you say?
I would say just ask for help. You know, ask. There's people out there that have already solved your problems, and that it's okay and everything's going to work out, because my younger self got me to where I am, and I'm so grateful for him that I'm not in jail or a drug addict. You know, he built what I have now. He built this character that you see, and I'm in this transition period where the adult version of me has to meet the younger version of me and shake hands and say, I've got it from here. And I do that every day, and the little boy inside of me says, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that's
how good.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Is there a talked about sort of the anger and where it comes from? We talked a little bit before that anger was my armor. Anger was my safe thing. It was the only emotion that I knew how to feel. Like when I was going through really bad mental health struggles and feeling anxious, feeling depression, feeling insecure or jealous or, you know, frustration, it would always come out in anger. I would always get angry at someone, and that was the only way that I could express what I was feeling. And it came so naturally. I think for a lot of men who don't know how to feel, who don't know how to articulate their emotions, or anger is the easiest one for men. I feel like that just comes out so naturally.
Yeah, for sure. Every emotion that you haven't felt yet or you haven't dealt with yet comes out in anger. Every single one of them. That's why all the blokes down the pub, they're all angry because they don't know any different. And that's why most men these days are all anger. They're all angry because they haven't gone within. They don't know that anger to me means you have not got control. And that's not a man. A man to me means that you have control over that little boy inside you that wants to get angry. And your ability to remain calm and be kind, compassionate and caring, like that takes control.
So like the ability to self-regulate, I think it's something that I really, really struggle with, that I could never regulate my own emotions. I couldn't just, like you said, to have the awareness, to be in the moment, to sit with it and go, all right, what am I feeling? What's the correct way to respond? Instead of reacting straight away, what's the correct way to sort of respond here? Am I going to be overreacting? Is it coming from a place of, is it coming from a negative place, or am I just being that little boy inside of me that just wants to feel validated or loved or feel safe again? And it's having that ability. This is self-regulate in times where it feels stressful. And I never had that ability. Even till I was about 30, my wife today still was like, earlier on in our relationship, she's like, you can't self-regulate. Like if someone cuts you off, someone does wrong by you, if something happens that wasn't meant to happen, it bottles up and it takes control over you, and you just can't sit there and learn just to let it go in, go out again.
Yeah. It's a skill.
It's a skill. You got to practice.
You have to learn it, but they don't teach it in school.
They don't. Yeah.
And it's one of the most valuable skills that I have learned. 100%. My ability to control my emotions is a superpower. Having the ability to communicate and having the ability to control your emotions will get you through life.
Couldn't agree more.
And through communicating how you feel, communicating your values, communicating what you think's right in this world, with no shame or guilt behind that. That's powerful.
Yeah. Do you find when something that I sort of learned was when triggers come up in your life, they're almost like an indication for you that something hasn't been healed?
Oh, 100%.
Do you find that with you? Do you find that? Yeah. And just knowing to actually listen to them.
Well, you're in control. Your triggers are yours.
Yeah.
They're not anyone else's. Your triggers are yours. And every time you get triggered, you got to stop and go, where is this coming from? What part of me is this coming from? And that is hard. That is one of the hardest things that a human being can do, I personally think, because it takes work, and it takes putting yourself in situations where you're not going to get it right. You're going to get it wrong, and your character is going to be hurt, and you're going to react. But your ability to sit back at night and go,
reflect.
How did I show up today?
Yeah.
How did Zach show up today? And get honest with yourself. Honest. Don't sit there and lie. Don't sit there and come up with excuses why everyone else made you angry. You made you angry. You are in control. And self-reflection of, I like to look at it as I look at myself through the driver's seat. And every day I look at myself and I go, how do you want to show up today? And every time I don't show up the way I want to show up, I also sit in the revision, in the passenger seat, and go, man, you're so much better than that. And it's so powerful because we're in life and we're seeing, you could be down the street yelling at some bloke because he took your car spot, and I walk past you, and I put you in a box. That's who you are to me. And you want to go far, you got to go with people. And if you're walking through life, carrying on and being reactive and being defensive and swearing and not being in control of your emotions, like, you are just a puppet. You're a puppet, and people will just take you for granted.
It's a beautiful thing, because I was smiling because every word you said then was exactly how I was feeling at a stage in my life where everything was everyone else's fault, and it wasn't until someone said to me that the things that trigger you are your triggers. They're no one else's.
Yeah.
They belong to you. And I would always be externally going, no, but they did this. And they would say, no. You're doing this.
Correct.
So you gotta acknowledge where it's coming from. And a lot of things that we'll sort of go into a little bit later is about the inner boy. It's that inner child that's coming up that was hurt in a time. And a moment as an adult will trigger that little boy, and instead of looking inwards, it's so natural for us, for men, to look outwards and go, no, that's someone else did that. But it's also having that relationship with your little boy, and even like the passenger seat where you can actually sit back, reflect, almost in third person, and go, all right, like, I'm proud of the person you are today. We may have made a few mistakes, but let's improve for tomorrow. And I think one of the things I really believe that we don't talk about enough is actually failing. You know, I think there's a lot of shame in today's society around failing. Everything's, especially on social media, even when you catch up with friends, a lot of it's like, what's the highlight reels? What's everyone been going? Everyone sort of doesn't talk about the failing or the hard times or the struggles. You sort of brush over and go, oh, no, it wasn't that bad. It's all good.
Yeah.
But I really believe that the most valuable lessons that we learn in life, especially for you, man, is all the failings. It's the hard times. It's none of the times that we've exceeded. It's always the times that we've failed and got back up again. They're the biggest lessons. But in today's society, man, it's almost shame. No one talks about the failings.
That's where all the money is.
It is.
That's where the lessons are.
That's the magic, right?
That is the magic.
Yeah.
You know, you have to. I'm such a big believer, and I'm living proof that you have to get it wrong before you get it right. In every area of my life, I've gotten wrong. Business, life, relationships, you name it. I have gotten it wrong over and over and over again. But my ability to get back on track and go, I can be a little bit better. I know I can be a little bit better there. And that just takes time. You know, you have to fail. You have to become comfortable with failure. And how beautiful is that? You know, how that is just learning and growing. And
but it's almost getting taken away from us, whether it's society or culture or what the social media is doing, that
because it's like, no, you failed. But like, he didn't, he learned. If he's open enough to see the lessons there. A lot of people, they haven't got this dialed in, and they think if they fail one thing, it's the end of the world. And that's, once again, comes from a product of your environment. You know, did your mum take risks? Did your dad have a business? What did they do? Did they tell you to save their money? I've been collecting coins since I was fucking 3 years old, and I had to untap that of me, that saving isn't good. So these little things that come up throughout your life make such a big impact on your relationship with failure. And I feel like that you have to question that. You have to ask, why am I scared?
Exactly.
Why? Not enough people ask why.
And a lot of the time the fear is just, it's an illusion. It's not real.
Fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. Once you go through, you're like, is that it? You know?
What was scared of the whole and that sort of circles back to why I started the podcast. And I was thinking about starting this for a while, and I was terrified of starting it. I was just like, I'm going to be shit at it. I'm going to fail, like all these things. And it wasn't until I was like, oh, fuck this. Let's just do it. Let's do it. And it wasn't until I finished the first episode and I thought, what was I so scared about? Like, this is the best thing ever. Like, and it really taught me, even though it was a small step, it really taught me the practice of just walking towards what scares you, walking towards that fear. And every time I've done that since starting this podcast, whether it's, you know, professionally, relationship, work-wise, whatever it is, every time I walk towards the fear, the thing that I was so afraid of in that moment, I come out the other end and I go, well, that was a success. And why am I so afraid of it? It's the unknown. It's like, what's going to happen? I can't control it. I've almost got to let go of trying to control my life and let go of the outcome. And just walk towards fear, and then like, it will take care of itself.
Yeah, for sure. I've got, how often do you think about death?
Honestly?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. And that's why every big decision I make in life, I just remind myself that, man, we haven't got long here. There's one thing in life that is promised, and that is death. And not many people think about that. They just go through life year after year after year after year, thinking that someone is just going to come and do it for them. And we haven't got long on this spinning rock. And we have the ability to change. We have the ability to make impact. And everything we see in life is an idea, and everything we see as being a failed idea. We only see the ones that break through, you know? But I feel like, you know, when you are in those big decisions, those big decisions, I always reflect and go, you know what, man, this is all going to end one day. And how beautiful is that? You know, one day we're going to be sitting there thinking, why didn't I do more?
Exactly.
And that haunts me.
Same. The regret of thinking, what if I actually put more effort in? Or what happens if I actually started the podcast? Or what happens if I, what could have been? And that, because I honestly felt that even though I, you know, played, you know, 15 years of rugby and from the outside looking in, people have said like, oh, you should be pretty happy with what you achieved. But I'd actually honestly felt like I put about 80% in. I gave about 80%. And I'm still trying to understand if it's the fear of success, is it fear of failure, is it fear of pushing myself to know what my limit was? Was I just playing it safe? Was I just playing in my comfort zone? I'm still sort of battling with why I gave that period of my life only about 80%, but I know for sure that I left some in the tank. You know, and that has sat with me, and the learnings around that I've used doing this, going, I don't want to get to 50 and go, I only gave it 80%.
Yeah.
You know, that is going to haunt me, I think.
For sure. You know, we walk through life and just waste it.
Yeah.
So many people, I employ young kids that come through my company, and I just go, man, what are you doing? And I don't tolerate that anymore. You know, I don't tolerate that anymore. I make sure there's clear roadmaps of success for them in my business. I make sure that they are always evolving. And if you don't want to evolve, you don't have a job here. If you just want to be here for a paycheck and just work week to week, I don't allow that. Yeah. You know, because I know that I'm ripping them off. Yeah. Go and do something that you want to do. Yeah, if you don't want to be here, that's okay.
Yeah. It's almost a disservice for you.
It's selfless.
Yeah, selfless. Yeah.
It's selfless. A lot of people are selfish. A lot of business owners, they hold on to their employees because they're busy. And like that, you're wasting this kid's life. If he doesn't want to do it, have a conversation with him and sit him down and say, do you want to do this? And if the answer is no, go and say to him, man, go and find something that you love.
Not many business owners have that sort of mindset.
They don't, you know. But I also remind them that, you know, the industry can give them everything. And I'm living proof of that. You know, there's not enough guys out there that work hard. It's been my identity. I've always worked hard. And I know that, you know, nothing comes in life for free.
And it seems like you've always had a good ability to manage failure. Even just the way you're talking now, that you know failing is just a stepping stone. And I saw something the other day, was like, if you knew everything you ever wanted was 50 fails away, how quickly would you fail to get there? Man. You know, you wouldn't even think about the embarrassment or all these things, you know, how you look in front of people. If you knew that all you had to do was fail 50 times, you would go out and fail as much, as quickly as you want.
I know. So what if I fail? What if it looks cringe?
Yes.
What if this? What if it fucking doesn't? What if it all works out? What if everything you wanted in life was on the other side of you taking that risk? What if? What if it all works out? Why aren't you telling yourself that? I tell myself that every day. What if everything I ever dreamt of just happens? And when you manifest that and when you talk that into existence and you don't make time for, I still get negative thoughts and I still get, you know, I wake up every day and go like, what am I doing? How did I end up here? But I never lay in bed.
This episode is brought to you by TLC Recovery Centre on the Sunshine Coast. Head to TLC Sunshine Coast, use the code TLC15MYH to receive 15% off and experience it for yourself.
I never lay in bed. And I never will. I know that I have a service to do, and I know that I will wake up and put in, not 100% because I feel like that's not real, but I'll put in everything I have that day. And if that's 10%, that's all I had.
That's your 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so many people in life, in the gym, and they set these routines and they do all this stuff thinking that, like, make some time to fail there. You know, you're going to miss. Put that into your schedule.
It's so valuable.
Put that into your schedule. Yeah. You know, put a day off in your gym schedule. You think you're going to sign up to a new diet and go to the gym 7 days a week and do an ice bath, meditation, heal the inner child, read 60 pages of a book, drink 3 liters of water.
The list goes on.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't, you're not going to do it. But if you put in there, you know, I might do that one day a week. Like be real with what you're at. I'm so realistic about my calendar, everything in life, about what I, you know.
Do you have a calendar that sets out everything?
Yeah.
Big on that?
Yeah, huge on that. Yeah. A calendar just shows me what's a priority and what's not. And when I look at my calendar, I'm not doing that. To me, that's not important to me. And I make time to set up my weeks for success, and I make times to set up my weeks for the things that I should be working on. And if I'm not working on business development, or I'm not working on things that I know are important, that's a reflection for me, and that's for me to go, I don't think that's important, and that hurts.
Fucking oath. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people say that, oh, I haven't got time. I haven't got time. I'm too busy.
I hear that.
Too busy.
I hear that a lot. Yeah.
A lot of businesses say, oh, I haven't got time to market. I haven't got time to do sales. I haven't got time to ring people up. You're just telling me that your business isn't a priority to you. And when you change the language on that, it hits.
It's true. Yeah.
It's just a little change of language that, you know, that's the reality. That's the reality. And I got that wrong for so many years.
Did you?
Yeah, in business for sure. 100%. I just thought it was just going to work itself out.
Yeah.
You know? I didn't want to learn anything. I thought I knew it all. You know?
That's where failing comes in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's been the biggest teacher for you.
Man, and that's, you know, people probably listen to this now like, fuck, he speaks so well. And well, I don't know if I speak so well, but well, look, I got it all worked out, man. I come from the most dysfunctional brain that you've ever met. I can't read, I can't write, I can't spell. But you know what I can do now? I can read, write, and spell because I practice that.
It's I spoke a little bit on sauna how this podcast got started. You know, it was me going through my own mental health struggles and feeling very heavy, and was doing it all my own. Never let anyone in, never trusted anyone, never understood that there were other people out there that was going through their own stuff, and never understood there was actually help out there. It wasn't until I started this and getting my friends on and my friends and talking about this where I realized like there is a lot of people out there that may not have gone through the same things that I've gone through, the same things that you've gone through, but could really resonate with the feelings of either, you know, the grief or the anger or not feeling worthy enough or the failing or lots of themes like that. And like I said to you, like watching your content, man, I just resonated with it so much.
Yeah.
And I'd love to sort of dive a little bit deeper and understand if you've gone through your own challenges, because you've come from such a traumatic upbringing and you come across to me as someone very motivated for growth. Like you're very sure of yourself, even though we have our flaws, you're aware of that and you're working towards it. Was there a moment in your life where you really struggled and you faced a rock bottom?
Oh, man. Yeah, 100%. And it was the most beautiful time of my life because that's where the change happened. I feel like everyone has to hit rock bottom.
Talk to me about it.
I'd come off the back of, I was in a relationship that I had no idea who I was. Just continuous patterns. You know, same thing again, same feelings, didn't feel loved, didn't feel this, hated everyone. I was going through a lot in business. I was in this period of business where I was just starting to work out, you know, things inside a business and starting to read. Actually being a businessman, I went on a very big journey of going from a tradesman to a businessman. You don't remember, I spent 10 years on the tools and I decided I want more here. You know, I want to become a businessman and grow a good business. And that's a completely different identity. And when I learned that identity, I started reading into my numbers and starting to learn that. And I was in a relationship at the time and I was losing about $200,000 a month. And
in what? How?
Just not knowing anything. You know, not listening. Not listening to people that have done it before me and thinking that I knew it all. And going, what are you talking about? You don't know anything. But they knew everything. But I had to learn that. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I would not change it. You know, so yeah, my business was having some huge financial losses that I was feeling daily. And I didn't tell anyone. I told no one. And I've rocked up and I'd worked and I hired people I need to hire, and I just did whatever I had to do in that sort of area of whatever that was. And I was also in a relationship at the time, and yeah, I wasn't a good person. I wasn't a good human being. I was in survival mode. I had no idea about anything that we're talking about now, and I'm talking a little bit over 12 months ago.
Wow.
Like this has happened. I haven't always been this person, and I ended that relationship not well. Once again, I didn't feel safe, so I did things to self-sabotage so I can predict the outcome. And it was just a survival mechanism for me. It's all I knew. I couldn't have hard conversations, and that was the issue of my life. That was the number one issue of my whole life. Hard conversations to me, and people are going to hurt, and I suffered so much. I didn't want to hurt anyone, so I'd hold on to everything. I'd hold on to employees. I'd hold on to partners. I'd hold on to myself. And, I come out of that breakup, and I had, my business was falling apart. My identity was like, and I was like, fuck, man, I need fucking help. I need help. No one told me to get it. I sat there and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, something needs to change. This has been going on for too long. This has been going on for way too long, and I need to do something about it, and I need help, and I need help now. And just a conversation with a mate at dinner changed all that for me.
Did it really?
I told him what was going on, and he done a little bit of therapy work and whatever not.
Did you feel safe and trust him, did you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, and I was just like, something needs to change here. There's something up here that isn't working. The math isn't mathing. I am not okay. There is something wrong with me. Accountability. I am the problem. Reached out to my therapist and I rang her and I said, I don't know what I'm going to get out of you, but I'm going to commit to this. And I'm going to do everything I can to understand who I am, why I do the things I do, why I react, act, and walk through life. Who am I? I need you to help me figure that out and where I come from and why I do the things I do. And I'm going to commit to seeing you every single day for the next 12 months or however long it takes. And that was my journey. And I did that and I didn't miss.
Really? You didn't miss a day?
Didn't miss a week.
Didn't miss a week?
Yeah.
What did you learn about without sort of going into too much detail for privacy? But what did you learn?
Oh, I can everything I know now.
Yeah.
Everything I know now. Everything I know now. I healed. I was aware. I become aware of everything that I was doing. I was trying to control everything. I was trying to predict every outcome. I learned so much about myself and why I do the things I do.
What do you reckon the pain was that you're avoiding to face? Was there a certain pain that you just like, I don't want to face that?
As in now or before? Not really, man. I wanted the answers.
Yeah.
I wanted the fucking answers, man. Because it's all I knew. I was like, this is what is going on, and then we unpacked and where I come from, my upbringing, I was writing down pieces of paper. I didn't get excited. I don't do this. I don't feel this. I'd write down things and everything come down to my childhood. And you know what? I was like, it's not my fault.
Yeah, well.
It's not my fault. I'm a product of what I went through. I was only going to end up this person. No one could sat there and said, Zach, you had to do this. This is what a good man does. This is what you do. This is how you treat a lady. This is how you respect a man. This is what I didn't have. I built that within myself. No one told me what to do. So I had to weave my way through life to try and figure it out alone and push everyone aside for me to survive. And unpacking all that and I did a lot of healing with my dad. As I said before, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my dad, and I held on to that for so long. That was eating me up. And we unpacked that in a way that speaks to my soul. You know, as I said before, I've always known that I'm a little bit different in life, and things happen for a reason. And we're going on the journey of me healing the relationship that I had with my dad and not getting to say goodbye, and unpacking that. And we went through this exercise where I was writing down things that I wanted to get rid of, or that I wanted to, that were hurting me, that I was holding on to. My mum not picking me up from footy training, me not being smart enough, me not being able to read. They were all very surface level to me, and I wrote down that I never got to say goodbye to Dad. And I scrunched it up, and there was a bin there. I was putting it in the bin, and then we finished the exercise, and she said, all right, now we're going to go pick up the bin, and then we're going to go unpack this. And I hadn't cried for forever. I'd never shed a tear until that day. And I cried like a little girl, because before I even went to the bin, I knew what letter I was going to pick up. And I was bawling my eyes out, and she's like, what's wrong? I said, I already know what letter I'm going to pick up. I already know it. And she's like, what do you mean? And then anyway, we picked up the letter, unraveled it, and it was that I never got to say goodbye to Dad. And I was like, man. And I looked at her and I said, like, what do I do now? And she goes, I want you to turn the page and write Dear Dad. And then I just sat up for 5 hours and I wrote him a letter.
Wow.
Yeah. And then that just lives with me full time now. I can go back and...
So you've got the letter.
Still got the letter, yeah.
You read it.
Yeah, that was the best thing that I've ever done.
What did it feel like? Was it just a weight off your shoulders? Was it forgiveness?
Just everything.
Everything.
You know, I got to tell him everything I wanted to. I got to tell him the business that I had, the person that I am, what I'm doing, how Nan is, how my sister is, how I am. I got very thorough and the way I felt, and I'm just getting emotional now talking about it. I just got to tell him how life was, and that I'm doing things that I knew that he'd be proud of. And man, I look at life, like I look at this situation that I've been through, and I feel like that he had to go for me to be this person. That's the way. That's how I believe that. Yeah, I genuinely believe that to my core, that he had to give up his life for me to become this person. Because if he didn't, nothing would have changed, man. I still would have been in those houses.
Fuck, it might have got worse. Fucking hell.
Yeah, you know, I don't know where I would have been, man. Probably in jail, drug addict. My sister's, you know, the same thing, man. Like, and I thank him every day that he gave me the ability to be this person, and to have conversations like this, and we talk about, you know, what I got out of it. I was like, once I finished, I did about 8 months. She didn't make me do 12. She had a conversation with me and said, "You completely healed." Well, I thought I was completely healed, and
which we know now is
and to start my page, as I said before, that was a calling. I knew I had the answers to what so many men are looking for. I knew I had them, and I couldn't walk through life now knowing what I know and not talk about it. And there is so many, you know, you walk through Westfields, all these bookstores, there's so many self-help books, but there's not many books on how to help others. And I feel like that's what's missing in the world.
What's that shared suffering, man? It's the same thing is replaying with a lot of men, and we talk about the shame around not speaking. The reason it resonates with so many people is because you're saying things exactly what these other men are feeling. They don't have the courage or the bravery or the, you know, the feeling of trust and
safety. You said it there, it's courage.
Courage.
That's all it is, man.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it is. It's the courage. And I as I said before, I've been through a lot. And if I get laughed at, whatever it is, you know, it's more of a reflection of them than it is on me. Because I know what I'm talking is real. I don't share anything that I haven't lived, and I never will. I don't want. Why? There's enough fitness influencers out there. There's enough people out there that are doing things for everyone. There's not enough people helping people.
For sure.
You know, and if I can do that for this generation, even yourself, doing this, it's a calling, man. I sat up, and you talk about hard things. I remember I was in Hamilton Island. I was like, I have to start this page. I have to do it. And I sat up and I come up with every excuse under the sun not to do it. And I didn't. I thought everyone was going to laugh at me. What the fuck? And they did. Like, I'm sure, what the fuck's Zach doing?
Yeah.
What the fuck's he doing? Who do you think he is doing that?
Yeah.
And I was like, watch.
Yeah, watch.
But I think in decades, not days.
Yeah.
I don't think in next year. I think in 10 years from now. And that's the benefit of my mindset. I think in decades, not days. I think, who will I be 10 years from now? Where will I be 10 years from now? And so many people are thinking, where are they at tomorrow? That's why they're unhappy. That's why they'll never get what they want tomorrow. But if you delay gratification, man, it's such a beautiful thing.
It's almost going against everything that we're being taught at the moment with that instant gratification, that you can have anything you want, click of a button. You don't even have to work hard for it. You can just get it whenever you want.
Yeah.
And it's always bringing back those days before we had social media, before the world was so connected with our phones and with media and everything that you could ever want. It's always a backflip to us where it's just gone so far the other way that we don't have those ability to delay gratification. We don't have the ability to want validation, but inward validation, how you feel about yourself. Do you love yourself? Do you love, waking up in the morning? I think one of the biggest learnings that I had was I hated myself. My relationship with myself, and it wasn't until I went to therapy when I really dove deep in how I treated myself and how I talked about myself.
It's powerful, man.
So I and it's quite sad that she was talking about. So what are some of the things that you would say to yourself, sort of, going through school? And I'd just be like, I'll just call myself a fucking loser. I'm a fucking dumb, whatever. Or I don't pick anything up. I've got, I've got no one's, giving me any attention. I don't feel validated. I don't feel loved. Like all these things. And she's like, how long did that go on for? I went, fuck, until I was, late 20s, like all these sorts of stuff. And I was always trying to find it in other people or other things. And it wasn't until I started treating myself like my own best friend, and I take myself on dates. Don't do things by yourself and actually get to know yourself and figure out. I drew a line in the sand and was really, really stubborn in things that served me and things that didn't serve me.
Beautiful.
So if I was still hanging around the same people or in environments or saying yes to things that I shouldn't say yes to, that was getting removed. If it wasn't making me a better person, it was getting removed. It wasn't, serving my family and friends in the highest level, that was getting removed. I just became really stern in what was a non-negotiable for me in my life. Whereas before, I was just saying yes to things. So I wanted to have friends. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to feel enough, but I never actually understood that feeling enough was like how you felt about yourself.
Man, it's everything. Everything external you can get internal, and I'm still on that journey of learning that now. And it's yeah, you're right, but you're not your thoughts. And for so many years, you think going through unconsciously, and I'm obsessed with unconscious and conscious living and thoughts, and I study that. I think that one of the most beautiful words is why.
Yeah.
Like, why? What do kids say all the time? Why? They're so curious.
They
want to learn.
Yeah. Why do we lose that?
They want to learn, man. They want to learn. Like, why?
Yeah.
Is such a beautiful question. And not many people ask it because they think they got all the answers because they don't want to look silly. Man, flip that and ask. And ask why. Like, why is that like that? Be curious. And yeah, and if the people haven't got your answer, you're in the wrong rooms.
For sure.
Or go and search for that answer. When I all my personal development and my healing journey, and even in business, I don't want to fix the issue. I want to fix the root cause of it. I don't want to just put a Band-Aid on and go, it'll come back in 6 months. Yeah. And I feel like that's what a good leader does in life, and a good person does. I understand the root cause of where this comes from. And I want to go and find out who were the first people that started writing about this. And because we're solving old problems. Man, it's 2026. This world's been spinning for plenty of years, man. Everyone's figured this out. But no one wants to ask. No one wants to read up and spend the time thinking, who am I? Why do I act this way? Why is it like this? And that's where the answers are out there. You just got to go get them. They're in books. They're in conversations like this. They're everywhere. But not many people want to ask. They don't want to look silly.
Yeah.
Fuck, I love looking silly.
Yeah.
I'm learning then.
I think that's one of the greatest qualities to have is to sit in that cringe or to sit in the ability when it feels like, oh, I want to run away or run or quit. Like, what's people going to think? This looks silly and cringe. I think the ability to sit in it and just go, I don't care. You know, it's all going to pass. You might laugh now, but I know I'm going to get something out of this
for sure.
And you guys are going to be still where you are 10 years from now.
Correct.
And you're going to wonder like, oh, how did he get there?
That's how you did it. Oh, what'd you do there? How can you teach me now?
Yeah, exactly. You know? And talking about sort of books and searching, I don't know if you've read Man's Search for Meaning. If you haven't, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Because it's I think he's a doctor or a psychologist that's in a Nazi war camp.
Yeah.
And he talks about why do some prisoners of war, why do some, the Jews, why does some die and why do some live? And he talks about when they find out a relative dies, their meaning, their purpose for life goes away, and then they suddenly sort of die themselves.
Yeah.
And he talks about, men can endure so much pain if they've got a purpose, if they've got something to live for. And I think for us, having something to live for and having a purpose, is worth the world to us.
Yeah, that's what.
What's your meaning and what's your purpose, do you think, today?
Man, I just want to help others. I really want to help other people. I've suffered so much in my life, and if I can do my best to end that by having conversations like this, like I'm just a normal bloke.
There's nothing
I'm in the
special
trades
about
industry.
us.
I'm just a bloke that runs a trades and construction company. I'm not a officer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a normal bloke. But yeah, my whole purpose in life is just to help others and just to be a good man, and to just give. Giving is such a beautiful thing. And not many people give.
How's the journey been healing the inner boy? When does he come up? What does he say? What situations do you find the inner?
Yeah, it's
the young Zach come up.
It's been one of the hardest things that I'm wrestling with that at the moment.
You are?
Yeah. I'm in a relationship at the moment, and it's come to the surface that, again, from unconscious thoughts that I just don't. Little Zach just wants to survive and go through life, and he will do anything to feel safe. And at the moment, I don't feel safe in my own head. I don't feel safe in my own heart. I don't feel safe in my own home because I am shedding that old identity. It's the hardest thing that I've gone through, harder than losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in business, harder than losing parents, it's the hardest thing that I'm struggling with at the moment. And meeting him and dealing with him and talking with him is like talking Chinese at the moment.
That's it.
Yeah. And love and connection to him that doesn't exist because he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that exists. And every time I try and feel it and get myself into a position, he goes, man, what are you doing? And I have to remind him that, man, this is the way forward from here. This is it. And we don't have to part ways, but you have to let me. I'm shedding me. I am, and it's fucking hard because I like me,
Well, you served a purpose.
Yeah.
You've got you here.
I survived. Look around at a couple of my friendship, I grew up around people I didn't want to be like, and little Zach got me here. And for me to turn around and go, you've gotten it wrong, is something that I don't have the answers to. I really don't. I don't have the answers to, and I'm doing everything I can to try and figure that out. And I'm so aware about what everything's happened and where it's all coming from. But Yeah, love and connection to me is just a word
Yeah.
at the moment, and I can't wait until I
the work
feel
is,
that,
eh?
man. I can't fucking wait.
Yeah.
And I know that I have so much love to give. I know that. I know that there's one thing I've always known in life, and that's I want to be a dad. That's the one thing I'm certain of. Because I now know how good of a man he will become. And you know, people say you want to change the world. You got to start by changing yourself and having a family, because good families change the world.
Yeah, 100%. We just found out that Jordan's pregnant.
Yeah, wow.
It's our first. So I've got the same. I never had. So to be honest with you, I was terrified to be a father.
Yeah, wow.
Purely on the fact that my father went through he had a really, really traumatic upbringing. And back then, you didn't know anything about generational trauma and passing things on. And when you don't deal with it, it doesn't just go away, you know, it comes up in your kids.
Yeah.
My dad changed physical things. So in my household, there was no alcohol, there was no abuse, there was no hitting. It was a very peaceful and loving house, because dad came from a house that was the exact opposite.
Wow.
But and there's no fault, dad did the best he could with what he had. So I never blame dad, because I love the person that I am. And I was forced to go through my own journey because of my dad, that he didn't go through
Wow.
that. So I have a lot of empathy and respect and love for my dad. But in terms of emotional connection and actually modeling behaviors around vulnerability and like you said, a man's man, what we grew up with our fathers was like safety provider, looked after the house. But you want to have a chat with dad about emotional things or vulnerability or how I'm feeling?
Yeah.
Never got that. So what I learned as a kid growing up was that if you've got anything going on, hide it, bottle it up. That's how you deal with it. So a lot of that stuff from my father, I was just terrified of becoming a father myself, because like I do not want to pass anything on, because I went through such a terrible time with my health that I would feel so guilty if my son or daughter went through something like that. So it set me on my own journey of like that. You talk about purpose. I wanted to be a dad, but I wanted to be a dad sort of earlier on. But I was like, no, I'm terrified, because I haven't done the work yet. I haven't fixed myself. I haven't gone through this journey yet. I don't want to do it later in life. I want to do it before I have kids. So I was really hyper fixated on having kids at the right time, because I wanted to heal all these inner boy and all these parts of me. And it wasn't until, I don't know if you heard of Gabor Mate. He's a
he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
He's the
GOAT. You know him?
So he's the man.
Gabor was in Gold Coast last year.
No way.
And I went and saw him live. And one of the questions that I wanted to get up and ask him was...
Did you ask him a question?
So I was in line to ask him a question about how do I not pass things on to my kids, right? And three questions earlier, this lady got up and said, how do I not pass things on to my kids? And I was like, fuck, that was my question. But I'm very thankful that someone asked that question, because that meant a lot for me. And he said, if your parents decided to do the work that you're doing now, how different would your childhood be? And I was like, fuck, it would be a lot different. I would have this access and the ability and the emotional regulation and all this sort of stuff to not have gone through that stuff. And he goes, exactly. You're doing that now. Even the mere thought that me and you are sitting here right now and we actually care about growth and care about the inner boy and care about these things, that's going to make you a good father, because you're already aware of it. You care about it. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then he said the other half of that is, don't hide things from your kids. So like he said, your natural ability is that you want to protect your kids. That's just what you want to do. I'm sure you will feel that, because
of course, yeah.
Maybe you didn't feel like you were protected when you were a kid. And he said, don't lie to your kids. Your kids they're so aware of things in their surroundings. And if you lie to them, they can tell when you're lying to them. So he said, a lot of parents try to lie to their kids. And what happens is the more you lie to your kids, you actually don't teach them to cope with reality. You teach them to hide from reality. So he said, instead of sort of lying to your kids, just be honest and have honest conversations and give them tools and ways to cope with reality. Because if they don't know how to do that, they'll they'll pick up other ways to cope with reality, and my ways was drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
That's how I cope with my reality. Was
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it, but I had a drink for the first time and thought, well, this silenced the noise a little bit. And then I had drugs for the first time and thought, man, this silenced the noise a lot. This is the best feeling ever. And then I was addicted for 10 years.
Wow.
And I couldn't be in social situations unless I was high, unless I had a few beers. I couldn't function unless there was a bag in the room. Well,
just running.
It's constantly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I gave up. I'm 2 years sober now.
Yeah. Wow. So am I.
Amazing. And
I've had one drink in 2 years now, and I'll never ever drink again.
Yeah, same. That's
the biggest life hack.
It is the biggest life hack.
It is the life hack.
I wouldn't be
listening
here
right now. It is the biggest life hack, and I'm not trying to push that down your throat or whatever that is. Giving up alcohol and drugs gives you the capacity to feel, and what you can't feel, you can't heal.
So true, because all it does is numb. So for that all through my 20s, I was just numbing the pain, hoping it would go away on its own, and it wasn't until to be honest with you, like when I drank, I thought I was becoming a better person. I thought I was being more funny. I thought I was being more charming. I thought I was getting the attention. I was look how fucking cool I am. But it wasn't until a good mate of mine said to me, when I was drunk, I was on fucking amount of drugs, and he said to me, when people haven't met you, they think you're a nice guy. But if they got to know you, they'll realize you're a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, it sobered me up so quickly. I remember like it was yesterday. And he just walked off. And I was like, fucking hell, like the courage that he showed
beautiful.
to say that to one of your mates in a state and just really pull him up and go, you're acting like a fucking asshole. What are you doing? It really like put things into perspective and going, why am I being a dick? Like why? I thought I was bringing out the best version of myself, but actually I was bringing out the worst version of myself. And it wasn't until I stopped, I had to realize, why am I numbing this? Like why?
What am I running from?
What am I running from? Do I not feel worthy enough to chat to people? Like, why do I feel so anxious to talk to people? Do I not feel worthy enough that I'm doing something in my life? What is the core issue? And it got to the point where I felt like a failure. I was comparing my life to other people's lives and going, why? How come I'm not like that yet? Expectations. And it wasn't until I've just realized that everyone's on their own journey. No one's above each other. No one's below each other. Everyone is equal on their own journey, going through different chapters of their life. Some's at the start of the book.
So beautiful.
Some's at the end of the book.
Yeah.
But like, you can't compare your life to someone else because it's yours. It's personal to you. And it wasn't until I actually understood that and go, man, I'm not in a rush to do something. I'm not, lagging behind someone else. Man. Like, we're all on our own thing. On this space rock together, going through life.
That's why, man. That's why you are unhappy. That's why I was fucking miserable. Gap between your expectations and reality is happiness. And if you expect things to be what they aren't, and you're being unrealistic around, life in general, and what you can't expect something that isn't real. And even with business and stuff like that, I wanted to run a $10 million business and I couldn't even run a $2 million business. And my expectations around that were so high. And I was like, I felt like a failure. I didn't feel enough. And once you just accept where you are and go, all right, this is where I'm at. Let's go on the journey to get that. That's where the happiness, that's where the peace is, I personally believe.
Did you, I forgot to bring this up, but you went on a silent retreat?
I haven't. No, I booked it.
Oh, you booked it. Sorry. Yeah. So have you done
I had one booked.
Yeah.
I had one booked and I pulled out of it.
Yeah.
Because it was a guided one.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to book my own one. I actually booked it the other day. It's in Mudgee, sick little place.
Yeah.
It's next weekend.
Yeah. Sick.
So, and I don't know if you know, Jesse, it's a little Misogi thing.
No.
So there's this Japanese ritual that you do one defining thing every year, and you take those lessons out of that, whatever that is, and you implement them into the rest of your life.
Love that.
Last year I did a 100-kilometer ultra marathon in the Blue Mountains, which was fucking pain. I needed to feel, accept. Yeah. So anyway, it took me 20 hours, and I learned a lot about myself out there. Yeah. I learned that I could get through anything. I learned
faced
that.
Some demons.
Oh man! Yeah. But I was, what got me through? Joy.
Yeah.
I listened to Adele for fucking 14 hours singing in the rain.
It's crazy what you can put your body through, like the limits.
I didn't give my pain a voice. I didn't give it a voice when I was doing that run. Anyway, I flipped the switch. I was going to do an Ironman and stuff like that. Love fitness and training hard, but that's easy for me. I know I can put in a solid training camp and go and do an Ironman. I know I can go run an ultra marathon or a 100K ultra or whatever it is. I know that I can endure pain. I know that. What I don't know is if I can sit in silence for 3 days. Fuck. And that's why I've done that, because it is the most scariest thing. I do 15-minute meditation and emotions come up. And I get out of there and I turn the TV on, I get on my phone, I distract myself.
Yeah.
So I'm going in for 3 days, fasted, no eating, no phone, no nothing for 3 days, just a couple of books and a pen.
That might be even more painful than the 100K, buddy.
Oh, man.
Do you think?
Yeah. Fucking hell, I'm going to find out who I really am. And at the moment, I think I know, but I'm going to be so clear of who am I and what I want out of life, and unpack parts of me now being so conscious of who I am and my values and what I want out of life and what that looks like for me. But the only way that I can do that is to sit alone, and I'll probably sit there for the first couple of hours and count the hairs on my arms and just to stop, man. Yeah. Just to fucking stop and get back to what really matters in life, and that's just not doing anything, and just being still and sitting with my own thoughts. And I'll cry, I'll be happy, I'll walk around, I'll throw rocks in the pond. I just want to get back to being a human being. And for the last 17 years of my life, I've been achieving, succeeding, more. And I just want to stop and go, what am I doing here?
Always, I suffered with this, is destination driven. I just want to achieve something just to say that I've achieved it and I've got to the next stop, but I didn't actually realize it's the moment to get to the destination is the thing that is sort of
so powerful.
I just wanted to skip, go straight to the end.
And so many people do. One of my best mates told me this. He's such a good friend of mine, always pulls me up, and he's helped me through a lot. I don't think I'd be half the person I am today if it wasn't for him and his ability to tell me what I didn't want to know. And yeah, he said to me, with all these runs and stuff like that, he goes, "Man, you're just doing this to take a photo of the finish line." And he was right. Most people are just doing these things for them to feel, yeah, I've done it. But he goes, "Man, flip that on its head and do it to become the person that when they put their foot at that start line, know that you've done everything you can."
Regardless of result.
The race is the race is nothing. It's becoming the person that can wake up on time. It's becoming the person that can stay disciplined enough to eat the food throughout the 16 or 18 weeks, whatever that takes. It's the becoming. It's the early mornings running in the rain. It's just doing the things. It's not the race. It's who you become before the race. And there's only one person that knows if you've done the work. And that's the difference between good and great. I personally believe the early mornings and the late nights when no one is watching, no one is clapping. How hard are you working? And what are you working for? Are you working for you, or are you working for someone to say, well done?
Because one's more powerful than the other.
One's way more powerful than the other. And the people can see it. They can see it.
Why do you think men carry stuff for decades without speaking? Is that how it's been modeled to us growing up?
That's all we know. And it's not my dad's fault.
No.
My dad's dad, he was at war.
Yeah.
We come from a generation that's fucking broken. Emotions, what are you talking about? We're going to war tomorrow. We
haven't got time to be depressed.
We haven't got time. And that's that. We're in this generation. Maybe before the wars and that all started, maybe there was beautiful connection and, and who knows? But like for the last 3 or 4 generations, we're war torn and we're broken. And I feel like this generation now, with all the information that we have the ability to fix it because we're asking why. Think about it. Like, do you think our dads would have sat on the podcast and talked about their emotions?
My dad did.
Yeah. But I think when they were my age.
Fuck no.
They were sitting at the pub going, thinking how good they are. And that's only what, 20 years ago? 40 years ago?
Yeah.
It's changing, man.
Yeah.
And that's so beautiful. That's the
It's a
good thing
beautiful
about
thing,
it, man.
yeah,
It's great.
And that's the thing.
But it takes courage. You have to be able to do it. You know, I was like, I said to you before, man, there's not enough people helping people. And I feel like that why we bottle things up is because no one thinks that it's okay to have a voice. And we are told from such a young age to put our emotions in a box because they were told that because their dads went to war and their dads needed the work or there was no time. I'm living proof that you can be something and achieve something and feel, you know, and to communicate how you feel and for that to be okay. It's not everything. You know, I'm going through a lot right now. As I said to you before, I don't feel safe in my own head, in my own heart. I'm broken on the inside, really. But I'm okay. Because I look at that and go, I can't wait to get through that.
To figure that out.
I can't wait to figure that out.
Yeah.
You know, be optimistic and think, you know, there's an end to this. Not many people do. They think that a bad thing happens in their life or they're a certain way and that's just the way it is. They don't question enough of, well, is it?
Yeah.
You know?
It almost let these things define them. And you could have easily let your childhood define you and be a part of your identity. It's like, this is me. This is me forever.
You hear it. I got a tattoo on my neck. I am who I am. Part of my life.
Right. Yeah.
I thought that was it. Like you're talking to someone that like I was so dysfunctional. You know, and when I hear that now, that's just the way it is. I go, is it? Let's fucking unpack that.
Let's challenge that.
Let's challenge the fuck out of that. And I love doing that to people.
Yeah, do you?
Oh man, it brings me so much joy because that's the aha moment.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from? Yeah. Why do you think like that? What did your mum do at her age? You know, where does that come from? And we are just a product of our environment as we were kids. We're built, not even as we're kids, as human beings. You know, we are just told to do X and feel Y.
What kind of father do you want to be?
Oh, man.
And what does being a good dad, how do you define being a good dad?
I think the definition of a good dad is how he treats his mum. You know? How a man treats a woman is everything to me, you know? It's a true definition of a real man is how he treats a lady. And I value that in every good man that I know. Every good man that I know is a good husband and is a good father. And being a dad means to me just, well, I'm not a dad yet, so I can't really speak on that, but just showing up and just being there for him. And man, when I'm a dad, I'll look back at these times, as you said before, when I'm hurting right now and I don't feel safe and it doesn't feel good, and I see the light at the end of the tunnel. When I hold my kid and I look at him and I go, fuck, that's why I did it. You know, that's why. That's why I'm doing it. I don't want to bring a child into this world by me being reactive and angry and not being able to. I want my kid to come to me and be like, I'm feeling a certain way. I'm like, mate, I know exactly where this is coming from.
I think it's one of the most...
Him to feel human.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You know, you're getting bullied at school. I'm like, well, sweet, let's go have a look let's see what his old man looks like. You know? Let's go see insecure how insecure his dad is. That's what the bullies are.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I see bullies and guys covered head to toe in tattoos now. It's just a kid that didn't get loved. And you walk through their environment and where they grow up, they're broken humans. And I'll say to my kid that we're okay. They're not.
Well, I think it's a beautiful gift that we've both gone through, that when we become fathers, that we can recognize that in our kids and actually be on a level and relate to this sort of stuff and go, instead of going, wait, I have no idea what you're going through. You know, and on some level we don't, you know, kids always go through something different than us, but we can be like, I know the feelings. I get it. Like, these are the things that sort of help me.
Yeah, and I think I hear too many people saying, I'm going to have a kid. I'm going to have kids. You don't have kids, you raise kids. And I'll make sure I raise my kids. I'll make sure they're raised well. And I'll step up when times get hard. And I'll separate the definition of having a kid and raising a kid. And I feel like that's what all the good parents and the good fathers and the good human beings of this world do. They raise their kids well. I said it before. You know, want to change the world, have a family, and teach them.
Are you still close with your mum?
Yeah. Well, we went on one of the most beautiful journeys that I could ever embark on, and I struggle with that a lot now.
You do?
Yeah, we're still going through it. We're still going through, you know, as I said before, where I grew up, you know, told that she wasn't a good person. She wasn't a good person. I'll be real with you, you know. I've had ex-partners of mine and important people in my relationship tell my mum that everything good in me comes from myself and everything bad in me comes from her.
Wow. It's hard to unlearn that.
Yeah.
How did you get through that with your mum?
But my mum left for foster when I was 17 or something like that, and went up there. She had no money. She had nothing. All she was so dependent on was this fucking monster. But talk about courage. Talk about courage, man. She's the strongest person that I know. Her ability to sit in that for me, for my sisters, like, it doesn't get any harder than that. And she has a life. I know everything about her now. I know her childhood. I know her struggles.
How beautiful is that to know?
Man.
Yeah.
It makes her feel, I'm okay with it now.
Yeah.
You know, I love her for who she is, not as a mum. My ability to separate my mum as a mum and look at her as a lady that just, you know, just got dealt a couple of wrong hands. You know, got given a couple of short straws, and she didn't know. If she knew, she's one of the loving, kinding. She's got all that in her. You know, she just hasn't felt it since she was 15.
You have that level of compassion and empathy, and go,
Yeah,
oh, man,
now I do.
There was so much hatred and
there was a point 12 months ago I couldn't even look at her.
Wow.
I could not even be in the same. And she, go back to the story, I hadn't spoken to my mum for it. I blocked her on everything because I'd always get the call, Zach, I'm finishing it, I'm leaving him, I'm done. That went on for 5-6 years, and I'd worked myself. I had the ability to buy a house in Sydney, and that was my safe place. And I had to have the courage to block my mum's number and to delete my whole family. I had nobody but myself. And I said to my mum, I can't have these conversations anymore. And I blocked her on social, I blocked her on everything, blocked her number. She couldn't ring me, but she knew where I lived. And I said to her, you know where I live. And 3 years later, she knocked on my door, a broken lady. And
really?
She lived with me. She was drinking, she was a massive alcoholic.
Is she still with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, still with us.
Yeah. So she lived with me she moved, she had nowhere to go. So now mum's living on my lounge, in my safe place by myself. Mum's moved in with me. I'm like, what is going on? She was drinking, smoking, and I'd like, yeah, and I was healing, going through therapy, understanding myself and going through that while my mum's living with me. And I come to a point where like, I gave her a job. I wanted to help her and that didn't work out. So I had to sack her, and I was like, you need to get away. You need to get the fuck away from me so I can process what is happening. Now, you know, she's completely sober, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke.
Yeah, beautiful.
And that wasn't from me pushing that down her face and saying, if you don't change, I won't be here for you. It was me showing her what
change looks like.
What change looks like. And she looked at me going, she was coming to she was at my ultra when I did the 100-kilometer runs, and she was watching me do all these things and watching me go to the gym and watching what I put in my body and seeing how healthy and happy I was and doing all those things. She was like, oh, there's another way here.
Modeling good behaviors, mate.
Yeah. And now she goes to the gym more than me.
Does she?
Yeah, she's fit as, she's probably lost 30 kilos, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, and now she's healing.
You're inspiration to her.
Now she's healing, and we're going through this transition now where it's really, really hard because the child always heals the parent, and in a family dynamic of mine, that's just the way that it was, because she doesn't know, and I've had to learn what's wrong and go and figure out what's right to then show her what's right. And at the moment, she wants her boy back. She wants that little boy back that she can cuddle and sleep on a lounge with, and to have these beautiful conversations with, where I'm like, fuck, you fucked me up for a bit there, Mum, let me chill out and we can be distant. But but I know for a fact that I took her out for dinner for the first time ever in my life a couple of months ago, and we have conversations, but I had to have clear and very, very strong boundaries around that, and I've just sort of implemented them into my life now, where again she would ring me and tell me all her problems. This is what's going on, this is what I've done, I'm going to the gym, this X, Y, and Z, all about her. I'm healing, I'm doing this. I was like, Mom, I'm the kid here. I need the love. When was the last time you rang me up and said, how are you, Zach? And I took her for a walk, and my cup was full. I could not give any more to her. I had nothing left to give, and I said, I have to do this. So I rang her up and we went for a walk, and I said, Mom, if this relationship means anything to you, you have to change. You have to change, and you have to start becoming a mum and ringing me and saying, how are you? How are you going? And are you okay? Because all our conversations for the last 15 years have all been about you.
It's almost like you've been parenting the parent.
Correct. And I had nothing left to give.
Yeah.
And she wanted to show me how much weight she lost, and she wanted to show me how well she's doing in the gym. She thought success and healing to her was her losing weight, and was her, don't get me wrong, fucking beautiful. You're not drinking anymore. You're not doing all those things. You're changing so quickly, and some people can't even do that. Her ability to take accountability and to reach out to get help and change and do all those things, fuck, I envy that in her at her time of life. And now she's healing, which is very, very, very hard to be around. A lot of regret. It'll
bring up a lot of things for you,
man. And she's still carrying weight. She still shows up in some ways of survival, and she doesn't share her emotions to me. And we've gone pretty deep in some conversations now. And I told her that. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "Mom, I don't feel loved. I don't know what love is." And we did a lot of this stuff in therapy. Like I would have to write down every time my mum said something nice, or like,
"I'm proud of you."
When was the last time I said? There wasn't one. There wasn't one. I couldn't write anything down. And that was the problem with me. So I didn't feel enough. So I got validated, built a business, did everything I've done now for me to feel enough from the two most important people in your life, which is your mum and dad. And now I'm healing her. I'm not healing her, but she's healing. And it's so hard, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But I love her so much. I know she'll be listening to this.
Shout out, Mum.
She's so proud of me. Yeah, she says that, and
it's never too late.
Yeah, she's changing her friends too. Her friends are starting to change now and get out of toxic environments, and she's got such a big story. And
it's never too late to change, is it?
Never too late to change. I even have this conversation with my nan. She's 80. She still reacts in ways that unconsciously see things. So I'm like, Nan, you got to change the way you're thinking at the moment. She's like, I can't do that. I'm 80. I'm like, all right, I'll give it to you.
I'll give you that one. I'll let you off the hook there.
Yeah. But man, and she listens to these conversations. She's like, it hurts them because they've gone through so much of their life and didn't know what I know now.
All cut off from it.
All cut off from it.
Yeah.
And then think about that at 80 years old or 50 years old to go, fuck, I've been getting it wrong the whole time.
Yeah, you kidding me? I can feel better than what I'm feeling now.
Well, I'm like that now in some areas of my life, and it fucking hurts. You feel like a bit of an idiot. Which is okay. You need to feel like that.
We can look silly.
Yeah, it's good to look silly.
Yeah.
That's where the growth is.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, me and mum now, she's, you know, got her own place, and yeah, she's on a beautiful journey of hers.
So what does life look for you now in terms of personal life, business? I know you've made plenty of mistakes, which leads you to success as well. What's life looking like in the next? I know you don't like small goals, sort of the next 10 years.
Yeah.
What does life look like for you?
Just aligned.
Yeah.
You know, alignment is huge over the next 5 years for me. You know, I want to build an amazing business. I've changed my why, and that's been one of the most powerful things that I've ever done. You know, why I'm doing the things I'm doing.
What is your why?
I want to build a business, and I want to create a space that doesn't exist in my industry. And I want to create a place where young men can come into my business and be led by a leader like me, and be given a roadmap and be given all these ingredients to become a good tradesman, and to have value and purpose, and for them to be good fathers, and you know, to have a big factory and a sauna and a gym, and have that fucking hub that I never had. And I have that now. You know, I've got I got a kid at the moment living in my factory, sleeping on the floor.
Yeah. Changing his life.
Yeah. I signed him up to give him a gym membership the other day because he got kicked out of home with his old man. Same shit, man. I see too much of them kids in me. I can help him. Literally, he's fucking sleeping on the floor in my factory right now. And I said, mate, you can stay as long as you want. So I know that he'll remember that.
Fucking nice.
And I know that I'll remember that. And my ability to give him that space. I said, man, you can't keep going home, because I know what home looks like for him. It's not safe. You need time for your emotions. You need to regulate. You need to go for a walk on the beach. I live near the ocean. You need to go to the gym and get yourself right.
Do you have these chats with him?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I told him, I said, you're not going home, man. No way. I know what home is for you, and that's not the answer. That's not you walking into a toxic environment, and dad that's fucking yelling anger, and man, that is not the answer. And who am I to let him just go and go back there? And he's struggling with that. And I said to him, you'll look back at this and you'll go, fuck, it'll be the hardest thing you'll ever do. But I've slept on couches before. I've done it. So it's not coming from a bloke that hasn't been there. And I tell him that. And I give him the fucking blueprint. I said, man, I am living proof. You're not reading this in a book. You're not looking at this in a podcast. I'm sitting there telling you what to do. And there's one common trait in successful people. It's, you know, consistency and discipline. And everyone that doesn't have that is just a mess. But going back onto what life looks like for me, alignment to build something great that has meaning and purpose, and just to do more of this, just to share my message and to put more love and obviously love too. You know, I want to feel and get deep into that, and you know, build a beautiful family and create a safe space over the next 5 years, and you know, and just get in touch with what really matters in life, and that's connection and community and building a beautiful life, you know.
Love that.
And enjoying the process too, doing it with a smile on your face and helping others along the way. You can get successful by ripping people off and hurting people and lying, cheating, stealing. Yeah, there's plenty of people with success that do that, but I want to be successful for the right reasons.
So I've got some quick fire questions to finish off, so you can answer these as quickly or as long as you like. What did your childhood teach you that you had to unlearn?
It taught me how to survive, and it taught me that the only safe place is by yourself, with no one else around, because no one can hurt you. And that's what it's taught. That's what it's taught me, and I know now that is not the answer.
If someone thinks their past has already been decided, what do you want them to hear?
Do you know your thoughts? Whatever you're thinking at the moment is something that someone's told you that you are. Whether that's in school, whether that's your dad, whether that's your mum, whether that's your environment, your friends, whatever that is, you are not your thoughts. So get clear on who you are and what you want out of life. And you only have the answers to that. And you are who you say you are, not what other people tell you are.
What are your three non-negotiables for living a healthy and full life? Your top three.
Doing what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Whether that means waking up on time or being in a meeting on time, doing what you say you're going to do is a non-negotiable for me. If it costs you yourself, it's too much. If you're losing yourself in the process and you don't know it's for the right reasons, if you're trying to sit in rooms and trying to be someone that you're not, to fit in somewhere, to be someone that doesn't align with your true core values, that's a non-negotiable for me. You know, to be my true self in every room and to share my truth, whatever that looks like at that time that's whether that can be looked at from good or bad, but for me to be my true authentic self in every environment and every room that I'm in, that's a non-negotiable for me.
I love that.
And the third would be just stay consistent. Just stay consistent. And consistency doesn't look like that. Consistency looks like this. You know, little things each day add up, little percent, 1% over time. Compounding interest, like just the tiny little things, and staying consistent is one of the best traits that I feel like that a human being can have in whatever way. It's doing something every day, not doing big things every day.
I love that, because I saw a quote the other day that said, consistency won't guarantee success, but not being consistent will guarantee failure.
100%. 100%. And so before, success leaves clues. Go and have a look at every successful good person. There's a lot of people out there that are successful, a lot of good leaders in the world. There's a lot of evil out there in this world at the moment. People want to become successful so they can feel in power.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of success out there that isn't. I don't feel like it's good success. You know, be successful so you can. Success means to me finishing at work and taking my son for a walk. You know, that's success.
It's a dream, eh? Yeah, love that.
I can do that now.
Yeah,
and I'm worried about shit. You know, not setting an alarm, not having nowhere to be, nothing to do.
What's your proudest moment?
Honestly, man, I don't feel like that they're... I struggle with this a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Feeling proud of yourself?
Yeah.
You got a lot of things to be proud of.
Yeah, for sure, but it's not enough. But the thing is,
you know what, something I'm proud of you for? Just sitting here today, chatting to you.
Yeah.
You might understate it, but surviving and coming where you've come from with all the shit that you've seen, because there's probably a lot of shit that you haven't said today that you've seen.
Yeah.
Things that you've dealt with. that you shouldn't be sitting here today.
Oh, against all odds.
Against all odds.
Yeah.
To be a successful businessman, to be a role model for kids. You got a kid staying at your place. To have the self-awareness and go, all right, I've got some shit to work on. And instead of ignoring it, which most people do, I'm going to spend money, time, effort, sacrifice, dedication to a daily practice of small changes every single day for the rest of my life, just to be a better man.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah. And I guess, sometimes I struggle with that, because, as Matthew McConaughey says, my that's just what I do. It's just who I am. And if I can continue to get better and I'll never reach
a hero.
I'll never reach my hero.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful speech. And,
I love that.
And I said, the puzzle thing comes from Matthew McConaughey. And if anyone's listening to this podcast, you don't have to become someone. You just have to take a little bit of everyone that you like and everyone that can bring value into your life and make that your own. And I heard Matthew McConaughey on a podcast said he wakes up in the morning and does a puzzle. You know what I did that day? I went and bought a fucking puzzle. And that speech, Jay Shetty talks about it in one of his podcasts, that he listened to that speech for 60 days. I'm currently listening to the Steve Jobs speech for 90 days because those little things create momentum. And I guess, I'm so proud of everything that I've achieved, but man, I feel like I'm just getting started,
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's your hero?
Me in 5 years.
I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah.
What do you value more now than you did 10 years ago?
Connection. Connection with human beings and conversation.
Do you have a good friendship circle that you can have these sorts of conversations with?
I do, yeah.
You do?
Yeah. I've got a very, very small circle. 3 mates. I've got a couple of mates that I do business with that we just talk. So I'm pretty close to them. But 4 mates max that I can ring up and tell. You know what? I've probably got 2 friends that I could have a conversation like this with.
Wow.
And that's enough.
Yeah.
That's all you need. I've got other friends that I can ring up and have a laugh with and carry on like little kids and tell jokes and stuff like that. But if you find that one person that you can sit with and have a vulnerable conversation with and to be your true self and for him to pick you apart and for you to pick him apart as a male, man, do whatever you can to keep that man in your life.
What do you wish more men talked about?
This.
Yeah.
How life actually is. Because we're all going through it. Every single person out there is feeling it. It doesn't matter if you've got a Lambo in the front of your house or you've got no car and you're living in a factory. Everyone feels, we're human beings. We all feel anxiety, depression, sadness, happiness. We are who we are. We're human. There's too many human doings out there in the world and not enough human beings. And it doesn't matter what you have. It matters who you are. You can have everything, but if you got no soul, what's the point?
Yeah, it's interesting.
What's the point of having all that stuff if you got no soul?
Yeah, I saw something the other day, and it was talking about men don't break because they fail. Men break trying to succeed, but they're pretending like nothing hurts. And I think a lot of us have all got this mask that we're wearing. That, are you all good? Yeah, I'm all good. Are you all good? Yeah, I'm all good. And then you get to go home, take the mask off, and you are just a completely different person. Put the mask back on, go perform for the day. Yeah. With all the boys going, they were all good.
I could have done that today.
You could have done that today.
I could have sat here and talked about how good everything's going. But
what's the point?
I'm ripping everyone off. I'm ripping myself off. There's so many people out there that do good in the world, but they just don't talk about it. And are you being humble or are you hiding?
Last question for you. What's one thing you're still working on?
Myself. And I always will be. That journey will never end.
Zach, thank you so much for coming on today, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to have this chat, to get to know you on a more personal level. There's a lot of things that I can definitely resonate in your story, and thank you for being so open and honest and being vulnerable. Like I love these chats. This is exactly the reason why this podcast started. I've got so much respect, admiration for you. Like I said to you before, I'm proud of you for so many things in your life. You should be proud of yourself. And I can't wait to keep in contact with you and see how the journey goes.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, legend.
Good stuff.
Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Mind Your Head. If you'd like to support the show, be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcasts. It really supports the show and helps others discover us. Don't forget to join us on Instagram and TikTok at mindyourhead.podcast. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we record this podcast, the Gubbi Gubbi people. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Indigenous peoples. We honour their enduring connection to the land, waters and culture, and recognise their invaluable contributions they make to our communities. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.